Hey folks, and welcome to Star Metal Productions. And this is our first ever episode that we're doing on this new channel that we've created, and we're going to bring you fantastic stories from a range of different genres in the TTRPG industry. But for tonight, for our first mini-series, and episode 1 starts tonight, we're going to be breaking into the world of Undead Cowboys versus Werewolves. A little game I've designed, and I'm going to be the narrator for tonight's game for the next couple of weeks. It's a system which is very basic, easy to understand. It's a D6 system, so you roll a number of D6, highest one will take that, and that'll be your success or failure rate. And yeah, so we're going to be exploring that and the rules over the next few weeks. So I'm Tal. I'm going to be a person narrating and running this game. I'm joined, as always, by my two comrades, travellers, fellows, who are going to be playing this game with me tonight. So, Jack, do you want just to give yourself a quick introduction?
Yes, hello, folks. I'm Jack. You may remember me from my own channel, RPGs Uncovered, currently on hiatus because I'm focusing on this new little production group we're working on, and I'm very excited to get this started. Today, I'm going to be playing Clarence the Ghost.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, the other player in our dramatic performance will be the Eye.
I am the Eye. I come here summoned by Jack, as always, to play games because this is what you mortals do. And I am playing Sean O'Reilly, the Banshee.
Excellent. Okay, so here we go then, folks. Without further ado, let's get stuck into episode 1 of our brand new mini-series, Undead Cowboys versus Werewolves. The year is 1879, and for a brief moment peace has settled over the frontier town of Knave's Descent. This town of no more than 200 souls stands at the end of the authorial trail. Once a prosperous silver mining town, it now acts as a cautionary tale against greed and devilry, and has become the place where people go to forget, or more importantly, to be forgotten. Life isn't easy, but many don't know any difference, and whilst the town corrupts most who live here, a few good souls still take a daily stand against the encroaching darkness. One of these souls was Eric Shea, the town sheriff, a towering personality and defender of the downtrodden. But no flame can burn forever. In a recent duel with the outlaw Denton Obrak, he was fatally wounded, and with his passing, the darkness surged. Many saw this as an opportunity to make a move on what could potentially be a profitable target. The nearest replacement sheriff would be months out, assuming the government was ever made aware of his passing. And with that in mind, the three big families of the town began to plot and scheme openly, as little was being done to escalate their violence. But this night, one family will take their lust for power too far, putting in motion a series of events that could very well seal the fate of the world. Jack, you gasp. There is a sense of darkness and dirt and mud filling your mouth. You try to reach out and you can barely get your fingers around the sodden dirt which is all around you. Pushing, you finally push your way and break through to the surface. And there you see the darkened sky night of a town. Maybe familiar, maybe not. You push yourself out of what was once a grave of yours, and now find yourself in a darkened graveyard. Why don't you tell us what you look like?
Yes, well, Clarence, first and foremost, is a ghost now. So I am assuming generally, vaguely translucent as I play around with my opacity slider. Clarence, probably wasn't the most physically active individual in life, and in death now, translucent and wispy as he is certainly not a fine physical specimen. Relatively tall, I would say, but between being a ghost and the weight of being undead, uh, often probably moved with quite a stoop. Relatively lithe, almost sickly looking, even, not terribly healthy, but looks as if he at one time attempted to dress well. He has a button-up shirt with a rather nice, well, at one point it was probably nice, brocaded vest. Unfortunately, now it's dirty and torn and ripped in places, faded, like the rest of his clothes. But just through the etherealness that he is now, you can make out heavy eyes, a bit of a scowl, what was greasy hair just sort of slicked back down to his shoulders, probably a very thin pencil mustache and a little goatee, just a little wisp of something. About all it could ever manage. And I suppose I will simply float here for a bit, coughing and taking in the night.
This is your first sense of the old world, for want of a better word. But that's not what catches your attention. What catches your attention is the sound of more dirt being pushed away and almost an explosion of ground and grass that are thrown away. As not too far from yourself, another grave opens itself up to the graveyard night.
I'm gonna float behind
The eye.
tree.
Out from the ground comes a man wearing what appears to be a pretty beat up Union infantryman's overcoat. He looks, for the most part, normal, but there's always this flicker of hollowed flesh that seems to come in and out of reality around his face. The face itself is covered with a thick red tinted mustache, red hair, and his eyes, probably the most stark thing about him, are always this milky white. Other than the infantry overcoat, the rest of his clothing is rather normal looking, although tattered. There is a hole in the shirt and the coat, outlined by brown, dried blood on his chest, right where his heart would be.
The two of you notice each other.
Well, I think he just said he's hiding behind a tree, so I'm not sure that I see him as of yet. I'm looking around, looking down at myself. Last memories I had was dying in some dirt somewhere, all alone. Pain coming from my chest. I don't know if I don't remember much else than that.
As you start to recall memories of your passing, a voice, tiny and almost ethereal itself, breaks the silence. Holy shit! It worked! Oh my god! It worked. It actually worked. Oh, this'll put another one in the eye for Grandma. And in front of you, hidden from your view previously, is a robed figure, no more than maybe 5 foot tall, standing in a series of shapes and arcane signatures drawn on the dirt in front of your two graves. And as she pulls back the cloak, you're presented with the face of a child. No more than maybe 8, 9 years old. Staring at you both, jaw open in slacked amazement, as she looks both of you up and down. It's all right. Come down. I'm not going to hurt you.
I think I start coming down, and that's when I notice my ghostly companion.
Floating on down as well.
Is that a ghost?
Well, yes, technically, well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but yeah, he's a ghost, and you're well, what type are you?
What do you mean?
Well, kind of just almost goes to try and poke you a little bit. Oh, yeah, banshee. That's what she is. I see. Oh. Well, I know this is probably a little bit confusing for you both, but you know, I'm hoping you both figured out that you're both dead. And that's not too much of a shock to you. But you see, I need some help, and no one really wants to listen to me. So I've had to get a little bit creative with recruiting, as it were.
I think Sean just stands there kind of slack-jawed at the idea that he's no longer of the living, looking down at his chest at that hole and looking up at the ghost.
Well, first, go for it.
I'm gonna float down and examine these sigils
Mm.
around the grave.
Excellent. Right, let's do our first check of the evening then. I would like you to make a hex ability check for me, please.
All right, this is one of my specialties. I got 2 dice.
Yes. Excellent. So
that's
going to roll 2 dice, and we'll take the highest one. So 1 to 6, and we'll see what the outcome is.
2d6, double ones. Starting off great tonight, folks.
Oh, okay. So, as you go to examine these symbols in the ground, you suddenly feel what can only be described as a concussive force slam into you, which is unusual because you are translucent, but it throws you halfway across the graveyard. You crash into one of the headstones, and for a brief moment, your vision's blurred. You don't really know what's going on, but it's very clear that whatever has brought you back is incredibly powerful. Don't take any damage or anything like that at the moment because it's the first roll. That would be harsh. But yeah, you definitely realize that whatever's brought you here is a powerful bit of magic. Now, I'm sorry about that. That's just it's all part of what I've had to do to get you both here to help me. But come down, sit, and I'll give you the explanation as best I can. You see, there is going to be a major catastrophe in this town tonight, and as much as this place is, well, hell on earth for some of us, I don't really want to see it get destroyed. I've heard a few things that are going on, but like I said, I need some help, and well, you two are it. So what I've done is cast a binding spell on you both. So you're effectively in my service until the early hours of the day. And I'm hoping that we can work together and you can, well, you can stop some terrible things happening tonight. Does that sound good to you both? And there's an element of kind of like hope in her voice that she's portraying how serious the situation is.
So Sean is standing or sitting there, slack-jawed, and just staring at this girl, trying to piece the idea that not only is magic real, but that he is dead, and that he is now not dead. And there's a lot for him to figure out in these very quick moments. Um, he looks over at the ghost and he just says, what do you think of all this?
I think this child here commands far greater sorceries than her age would presume. How do you wield
Wait.
such magics, little one?
Oh well, that's I'm a part of a family, and my grand, she's something of a well, she's a badass, but she is connected to the land, and that's kind of been passed down the bloodlines, and yeah, I kind of ended up with some abilities, as it were. They don't let me practice much, but I found this one in Grand's book, and I knew I had to take my chance.
We'll see
Oh,
how
sorry.
cautious you were. These magics can be difficult.
Yeah, that is true. So let me just so you're not alive, but you're not dead. You're kind of somewhere in between, and technically, if you get killed again, how do I put this? You're gonna end up somewhere you really don't want to be. You know, the old pokey sticks and the flames and all those kind of things. Which I'm sorry about, but my need is quite great in bringing you here.
So wait a minute. And he turns to the ghost. So you knew magic existed before this?
There are many wonders in the world that many are blind to.
I was looking for a yes or a no, but I guess I'll take that too.
Yes.
All right. Great. So let me just make sure I understand this. You're part of some magical witch household. You brought us back from the dead to stop what exactly?
Oh well, that's a part of the thing. You see, there's been a rumor around that there's going to be a one of the families is going to. Well, they're going to try and take down the whole town. I don't know how. I don't know when. I just know that if we ain't stopped by, well, before the sun comes up at 6 tomorrow morning, then this place is gonna go to hell, literally. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Elaine, by the way. Elaine Cooperman.
I'm Sean O'Reilly, I think. I don't know if that changes after you die or not, but
Well, no. I still think you're allowed to keep your name. I don't think there's nothing in the books that say that has to change or anything.
all right.
And what about you, sir?
My name is Clarence.
That's a mighty fine name.
I suppose.
I really wish I could have brought more of you, but well, you're it.
Yes, you have rent the veil and roused the restless dead for what? Rumors?
Well, I mean, it's been bubbling for a little time, but oh, I need you to kind of figure out what is going to happen and stop what's going to happen. I'm just a kid. No one takes me seriously, and I can't do anything. And family won't listen to me. Sheriff's gone. You're my last hope.
Well, I
And
guess if the choice is hellfire or helping you, there doesn't seem to be much choice. I don't know how any of this works personally. Uh, Clarence, I mean, unless you have some insight that I'm not privy to, which is probably a lot, incidentally, um, I guess that's what we're gonna do.
A binding, I suppose, to some degree we must do something. However, is this merely the threat of damnation you hold over us, child, or do you have something that may further incentivize us?
um, what what would you like? I mean, I can get a few bits and pieces, but is there something you'd specifically like? I mean,
Life. Little
oh,
life.
like on a more permanent kind of basis.
Yes.
Okay. Well, how about this? You help me, and I will look and see what else is available to change your fate, maybe.
Perhaps you could introduce me to your fine lineage.
Um, well, yes, they obviously don't know about this, so that might be slightly tricky. But sure, I mean, you help me, and I'll do the introductions, and you know, maybe
Wonderful.
Gran does have something.
Dabbling in magics you shouldn't be.
Oh, I'm really good at this kind of stuff.
I'm sure you are.
She kind of pats down her dress. Oh, God, here we go, and produces what looks like a rolled up map of the town and a small cloth bag which jingles. Potentially, it must have some kind of money in it. So, couple of things. This spell comes with a filter. So when people see you, they will just see two normal-looking cowboys wander around town. It's not perfect. They get too close, they're gonna know there is something off about you. You do something which is suspicious, they're gonna notice that as well. So I'm just saying it'll do as a disguise, but you don't really want to be wandering around giving people the old oogie boogie scary kind of stuff. That's not gonna help. I would suggest caution whilst you're trying to figure out what's going on.
All right. So no one else can see this. Um, Tal, do we have any of our personal items on us?
You do, yes.
All the stuff that's on our character sheet.
Yep, absolutely. And
All
again, it
right.
has the same kind of, it's substantial but insubstantial, that kind of, you know, that style, if you like. So you can use it and it'll do stuff, but is it real? Well, that's a whole nother matter.
Mm. All right. Well, I suppose we better get moving. You said it's 6 a.m. That's when we have till.
Yep, and well, it's just coming up to midnight now, the old witching hour, as they say, and Yeah, it's not long, but I would like one of you to make an awareness check for me, please.
I will do that since I have 2 dice in it.
Excellent.
6.
Excellent. Okay,
Well,
so
a
6
1 and a
is
5.
Yes.
oh right. So okay, so it's a 5 then. That's cool.
Oh, you only take one of the dice.
You don't take one of the dice. Yes, you take the
Gotcha.
highest.
Understood.
Yeah. You hear from the shadows of just outside the cemetery the faintest, softest stepping of a boot and the click of a hammer being drawn back.
I believe Sean will immediately dive behind a tombstone, grabbing the small girl and bringing her with him as he's removing his rifle from his back.
Excellent. Okay. In that case, I would like you to make an agility check for me then, please.
I believe that's another 2d6. Yes. A 6 and a 5.
Excellent. Almost supernaturally, you grab the girl from the enchanted area she was standing in, managing to pull her free from whatever was keeping her there. Dive behind the one of the big gravestones, just as 2 shots ring out, one scratching the graveyard's head and flying past just over your ear, and then the other one lodging itself firmly where you were just standing. And a voice calls out of the darkness. Well, ain't you got some good reflexes on you there, son? 2 burly gentlemen step out of the shadows, both armed, long-brimmed hats tugged down so you can't really see their faces. And they step out into the light, which is being cast by the full moon overhead.
I'm gonna let Jack take the next move since I already made one.
Okay. I imagine combat in this game is fairly narrative.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
I would like to use my hex ability to confuse. I presume I can only target one of these fine individuals.
Yes, you can only target one of them, absolutely. But yeah, no, absolutely, you can definitely do that.
So I'm gonna. I know very little about westerns. I never got into westerns, but I'm gonna pull out. I think it's some sort of like shrunken head. It's like real tiny shrunken head. I got a belt full of all kinds of little knickknacks and stuff and things I can pull out of my vest and whatnot.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull out this little shrunken head, and if I can, I don't want to give the impression that I am particularly swift or agile or athletic in any means, but I am a ghost. So I imagine that I can move a little bit more fluidly, and as long as I'm not trying to do anything terribly harmful. So what I would like to do is sort of, in a very ethereal sort of stutter step, Matrix Reloaded ghost people, just sort of stutter step towards this individual and just pluck a single hair from somewhere on them and jab it into the shrunken skull and just whisper something into its ear as I confuse this individual.
No, go for it. I like that a lot.
So this is another hex roll.
It is.
Let's see if this works any better. As the cameras disappear again. There we go. That's a 3 and a 5.
3 and a 5. Okay. So, tell us what your hex does, your confusion to the individual that you've plucked this from. And he's kind of looking at you as if to say, "What? Why have you just?" Oh, he's got a weird, really stunned by what you've just done.
Yeah, I think I sort of elongate behind him, sort of staring down, hunched over as I'm whispering into this thing's ear. And this is just the confuse effect. Can be used in combat to give the next player +2 situational die on any one roll. So I think I'm just sort of drawing this one's attention towards me, and just he gets that tunnel vision looking up at this sort of cartoonishly elongated, over vignette exposed figure.
And you could just see his vision just almost blurs. You can see almost like a whiteness in his eyes, as if he can't really comprehend what's happening to him. As that happens, the rifle that he had in his hand does go off, lodging itself into your foot. So you do take a little bit of damage. You do take 1 point of damage to your health.
All right.
So, the eye.
Well,
what do you want to do?
what I'm picturing here is that we got ourselves a cowpoke who is now so confused he's taken himself out of some sort of cover, perhaps behind a graveyard tree or gravestone. And as soon as he does, I'm gonna take a shot at him. Does that mean I get +2 more dice?
You do indeed, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's a lot of dice. Not a great roll though. 4 was my highest.
4, okay, right. 4 it is. So, with a 4, that is a stalemate. So, as you go to shoot, his eyes seem to flick back in, and he notices you leveling your rifle at him, and just manages to fall to the ground squat before the bullet flies over his head. But he hasn't got time to reload his own gun and take a shot at yourself.
I just put my back up against the headstone and make sure that the little girl is sitting between the grave, like between me and the guys I'm shooting at.
And the other cowboy behind goes, now, gents, there's no need for us to be fighting now. You don't need to be involved in any of this. We just come to pick up the little girl. She shouldn't be out here at this time of night talking to strangers. So why don't you just hand her over, and we'll be on our way, and wish you boys a good night.
Bullets are a rather rude way to introduce yourself, friend.
Well, maybe I was a little bit hasty, but what say we put up our arms and just settle this like gentlemen, and just hand over the girl?
I'm not thinking the girl wants to go with you. Do you, little miss?
She looks up at you and she's wide-eyed. This was not part of her plan. She'd assumed she hadn't been followed, and just goes, "No, sir."
Yeah, not thinking that she wants to go with you, and so therefore we're going to have to say no to your request.
Well, on your funeral be it. Jack, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay. Take a look at goes on here. Okay. I think really I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. I'm gonna just try to continue to entrance this fellow.
Yeah, go for it.
As another 5.
Okay. So again, you see the cloudiness going off, but this time the cowboy that was standing behind him manages to get off a shot. It again just lodges into your shoulder. This one, you kind of feel it pass through you, but you do take another point of damage.
All right.
The eye, it's your turn.
Well, I guess I'm gonna try that 4 dice roll again. Hopefully, if I fuck this one up there, Clarence, I think it's time for you to start shooting because. Oh, a set 2 6s actually.
That's what I was going for.
Excellent. So, getting more than 1 6 is what's known as an epic success. So essentially,
even if you get
damage.
a 1 in there.
Yeah. Even if you get a 1. So essentially, you've got a choice. You can deal double your damage to your target, or you could give Jack 1 dice to use on the next roll. What would you prefer to do?
With the little girl there, I want to end this quickly, so I'm going to say double damage.
Excellent. Okay. So you take a moment to aim your rifle, and you can see you've got a target is outlined. He's not moving. For you, this is a simple shot. And as the bullet ricochets out, it straight through one of his eyes, and you watch as for a moment he kind of stands there and then just collapses to the ground. Dead. The other cowboy kind of takes a step back and shit, didn't expect that. Oh, damn it. He's going to attempt to run. So, Jack, what would you like to do?
Now in this game, Tal, that you have created so finely here, the magics at my disposal, are they just these 3 spells I have access to, or can I just do things?
Oh, I will let you just, if you've got something good that's fun, I will just let you do that.
Okay. Because I am not a combat character. So I think what I would like to do... I suppose this is really I guess a change, just a slight augmentation of the Confuse ability.
Yeah.
I want to try to just freeze him in place. Just draw on that ghostly veil and just, again, the Matrix Reloaded, when they flash and their dreads just shoot out like snakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I want to turn myself into a ghostly horror real quick and just kind of
amazing
petrify him in place.
Absolutely, because at the moment they're seeing you as just 2 cowboys, so you're almost going to try and break that to give him the fright of his life. Go for it. Make the roll.
The first rule: don't expose yourself as undead. Immediately, ghost power.
Yes,
that's me. 5 seems to be my number tonight.
Okay, so as you almost drop the veil of the semi-illusion you're carrying, you could just see the white paleness flood through this cowboy as he's staring at something that appears to have come from God knows where. He almost just clutches at his heart, and you see him kind of go down on one knee. Fumbling for his revolver, he does take a shot, but it goes slightly wide this time. But he's now down on the floor. And so, again, the eye, you have got 2 more dice to add to your next roll.
So I think the way that that Sean is going to deal with this one, he's noticing the pattern of what's going on at this point. And as soon as the guy gets down on his knees, he's going to run up to him, kick him in the back so his face goes directly into the dirt, and just fire down into the back of his head.
Yep, perfect. Go for it. What have we got?
2 5s, 3 and a 2.
Okay. So you make the run up. As you're making the run towards him, he manages to lift his gun and just take a shot against you. It grazes across your cheek, but you still feel the pain, so you take a point of damage. But before he can do anything else, you're on him. He's down in the ground, face down into the mud. You level the barrel at his head and take the shot. How much damage does it do?
I don't know. What do I roll?
So it's it should be against whatever weapon you're using. It should just state what the damage is for it.
You told me to put a weapon in there that wasn't in there, so it's a
yes.
rifle rather than a pistol. So you're gonna have to give me the damage on that.
That'll be 2 damage then.
Oh, 2 damage.
Yeah. Again, there's a sound of head being split in half, and then silence as the gunshot rings out. Prod the body slightly.
It's a little
Dead.
hasty, my new friend. I was looking forward to having a conversation. Oh, well.
My apologies. I used to do this a lot. I think.
I can see that.
And plus there was the little girl, and I don't know what happens if she dies. Like, if she dies, do we die? Like, how does that work exactly? And so there's a lot of things that I didn't want to put up to risk or chance. So I just figured, kill these two, and if we can get more information, not with her around, in danger, perhaps that's a good idea.
Right, that is an excellent question, child. What would happen if you were to prematurely perish?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't really know. It wasn't in the spell that I cast as to what happens if I die, but if I had to guess, nothing good, I would say.
Well, perhaps you should do your homework more thoroughly in the future.
I would, but I was running out of time. Don't understand.
Child, who are these men? And why did they want you?
She goes over to them and has a quick check. Pearsons. Damn it, I knew it was them. You see, this town was beat on 3 big families. Us, the Coopermans, the Watson Smiths, and the Pearsons. Now, they all hate each other, but it's the Pearsons that are going to be the real issue. They're the ones planning something. That's why they must have sent these ones after me. They must have known I was up to something or going to try and use me in some way to, I don't know, maybe blackmail or try and kidnap me or something. But yeah, it's the Pearsons, all right. Damn it. They're the ones that are going to do something. And she hands the map to you, Jack. Look, this is the town. I've marked a few places on there which are going to be useful for you in trying to find out what's going on. The only thing that I know is that there has been a lot of activity up at the silver mine last few days, and that place is supposed to be abandoned. I don't know if that's going to help or not, but I'm sorry, the rest is up to you. And she kind of looks around. I've been out on the way too long. I got to get back. I got to get back to the family.
What do you mean the
look,
rest is up to us? We don't know anything.
Well, that's what you gotta do. You gotta find out what's going on. Look, I'm gonna be missed if I stay out of here any longer. That's why I brought you two back. You're gonna be the heroes of this town. We need people like you.
So we were risen from our slumber then to investigate bad vibes from a little girl.
Look, I may be little, but I know something's gonna happen tonight. I've heard them talking about it when I'm around and they don't see me. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen by 6 a.m. when the sun comes up. It's gonna be bad, I just know. Look, just you gotta stop the Pearsons. Find out what they're doing and just stop them.
Well, in my history, and it's obvious that he's like wrestling with what he thinks he knows in his memories and what he doesn't. All I know is I could use whiskey, and you know, a lot of these little towns, their local watering hole is probably the best place to get information. Um, Maybe we should head there.
That's a great idea, yeah. Maybe you'll be able to learn something there. Look, I wish I could do more. I wish I could help more, but it's all down to you now. And she kind of just gives you a very childish wave, which is weird. And then she's gone.
What do you mean gone?
As in,
Just
gone.
Okay.
Just it's almost like the shadows just surround her and she's no longer there.
What an interesting child.
Yeah, she gave me the heebie-jeebies, but I mean, this entire situation is really kind of giving me the shudders. Um, do either of us, Kyle? Do either of us know this town at all?
It's a good question. You were buried here. You tell me.
Well, the information I have of how things went down before make me believe that he might have died somewhere near here, but not necessarily in the town.
That's fair. So you might have had a passing knowledge of it, but we haven't established yet how long ago you actually died.
That's the other thing, yeah.
So you might recognize the odd building or two, but you're going to be relying heavily on the map to work out where you need to go.
So on the map, I'm not actually, and maybe I'm just my one eye isn't working today. Is there a tavern or a drinking establishment of some sort?
There is indeed. So, hang on, my TV's just turned itself off. Bear with me. It's not that helpful. There is, yes. So, looking at the details on the map, you can see that there are actually 2 drinking establishments that have been marked on there for you. So, they are. The Split Shoe.
Uh-huh.
And the other one is the Allée Maison.
That one sounds too high and mighty for myself. I don't know about you, Clarence. The Alley Maison. I don't. I would just say Alley Mason, but I guess I'm just weird. I don't know your history much, Clarence, but like I usually would probably prefer going to something called the Split Shoe than the Alley Maison.
Yes, I do not know anything of this place in this time. Vague familiarities. I suppose we could lurk around local establishments and see what we might hear.
All right. Let's get a move on, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm supposing we can see the church from where we are.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All right. So I guess we start making our way down past the church, past the Undertaker, and the bank down to the Split Shoe.
Amazing. So, that's going to be your first location. So every time the team move to a new location, we will move the clock forward by half an hour. And that's when we're going to keep track of the time. So as you make your way down there, including the time you spent dealing with these two cowboys, once you reach the Split Shoe, it is midnight. The town itself is fairly quiet. There's still some hustle and bustle even for this late hour, people going about back to their homes. A few stores looks like they might still be open for business. It's definitely got the sense that a lot of stuff gets done at night, and especially for maybe those that deal in things which aren't technically legal. As you cross through the terrain, the muddy streets, you make your way to the Split Shoe, and straight away, from looking at it on the outside, this is a classic watering hole. The shutters are all damaged, the paintwork is there, but it's starting to pale and kind of fade. And from inside, you can hear the raucous sound of people laughing, dice being rolled, and the sound of glass being shattered, and maybe the odd punch or two being thrown as well.
Sean has a wide grin on his face at this point. He's checking himself. Does he have money?
So, you were given a small pouch from the girl, and in it you find 20 silver coins.
Get some silver dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, $20. That'll get you a fine drink. Clarence, would you care to join me and have a whiskey to try to figure out what to do next? Or I don't know if you're a drinker or something, or you abstain from the devil's piss, but
Perhaps simply a light ale or something, watered wine.
sounds like you would have rather gone to the Alley Maison. But that's fine. I'm not sure if they're going to have either of those things here. It's usually whiskey or water, and sometimes even water is not up for debate. But all right, let's give it a shot. And Sean just starts walking on in.
Okay. So inside, it's exactly as you would picture it. There's sawdust on the floor. Most of the tables are filled with customers knocking back cheap beer and whiskey. It's still crowded even at this kind of time. There's probably maybe 60 customers there or thereabouts. It's a combination of them gambling, dice, cards, whatever they're kind of into. There are a few people sat on their own, drowning their sorrows with their face in their pitchers. And you can see there are a few, how should I put this? A few ladies there as well who are negotiating with some of the clientele. And you can see at the back of the saloon, there are some stairs which lead up to what you assume are probably rooms. And as you make your way through the crowd, being careful not to touch anybody or anything on those lines, you get to the bar. And at the bar, you can see there is a younger looking woman. She's got her hair braided at the back, a really kind of almost smock that she's wearing that's dirty, and it looks like she hasn't washed it in days. And as she watches you approach, she goes, evening, gents. Don't think I've seen you two round here before, but my name's Danny, and this is here my establishment. What can I get you fine, upstanding gentlemen this evening?
Well, ma'am, I will have your finest whiskey.
Finest? Well, there is one
Which
whiskey,
I
and
know
it
I
ain't
know
that
how this
fine.
works. Yeah, I know how I was jesting. The next words out of my mouth might be even funnier though. You wouldn't happen to have wine for my friend here, would you?
Wine? We don't let no children come in here drinking that kind of stuff. What are you talking about? Wine?
Yeah, that's what I figured. Clarence,
Well,
it's probably going to be a whiskey or and Clarence, and Sean
wine.
like leans in to Clarence and goes, "I'm gonna make a educated guess that the beer is a very broad term in general. It's even broader when you go into places like this.
Yes. Miss another whiskey for me then, as well.
2 shots. That's that'll be a silver dollar for the two. And she spits into and cleans a couple of the shot glasses, pours out from this bottle, and it does not look good. Lines them up on the bar. There you go, gents. That'll get you started. Enjoy, and let me know what you think.
Now, as undead, do we taste or feel anything when we imbibe?
Yeah, if I throw
There's
this back,
only one.
is it going to splash on the guy behind me?
There's only one way to find out.
Well, Sean will throw it back.
Okay. So, as you knock back the whiskey, there's a slight gasp from Danny behind the counter as the whiskey just kind of pours through you and solidifies on the floor. What
Solidifies,
the hell?
like freezes?
Not solidifies, probably the wrong word, but it splashes all around.
Oh, okay.
What the
Mr.
hell was
O'Reilly,
that?
making
What?
a mess again. My apologies, my fair woman. If you have a rag or something, I will tend to tidying this up.
What just... Did that just go right through him?
No, for a moment, Sean is just staring at the glass like this is the worst thing to ever happen to him ever. And then he just kind of puts the glass down and goes, I took a blow to the head a little while ago. Sometimes I miss. Maybe it's not a good idea for me to drink ever again. And he just like a cold, frosty tear just goes down his face.
Make a let's call this a social skills check, and you can add 1 extra dice because Jack has tried to cover for you to the roll.
It'd be good if I actually did this in Roll20 and not Twitch. A 3, 3, and a 3.
Oh dear. So unfortunately, that is a fail. She looks. She goes, "No, I saw that go right through you. What kind of devilry is that? Hey!" And she kind of points to this huge bouncer who's been standing at the foot of the stairs, and 6'3" maybe, and just the best way to describe him is, the Kingpin from the Marvel kind of things. He's just that kind of. he looks solid. And he gets up. Yes, Miss Danny, what's the problem? This guy's some kind of weirdo. I just chucked his drink right through him. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. What would you like me to do, Miss Danny? Well, maybe we should show him some hospitality and ask the gentleman to leave.
I'm sorry. I meant to. This was a bit of a show of force. Me and my friend here are actually traveling magic aficionados, as it were. We were just trying to show you a piece of the magic that we could do at a place, an establishment such as this. Perhaps he's like trying to figure out what to do. He's like, we do magic, we do card tricks, and that's just one of the many things that we do. Is the old whiskey through the body trick.
Use them there traveling folk, the carnivals. That's what they call them, isn't it?
Carnival, no. I was at a carnival. Was it a carnival once? I don't remember. No, I wish that'd be fun if we were actually doing that tonight rather than what we're doing. No, we are just a couple of guys who go around and do magic tricks, and if people want to give us some money to do that, that's what we do. Can't show you how it's done though.
Eyeing you really suspiciously. Show me something you can do then.
Really
suspiciously.
Yeah.
Show me something. Show me one of these.
Do you have a tricks. Here, look. Clarence, help me here.
It's just giving you the most deadpan, like, what are you talking about?
Listen, we got to get information here, and if we get kicked out, we can't get the information, right? So, like, help me out here. I saw you do some magic shit. Do something.
Yes. Danny, it was.
Yes, sir?
My friend here does get a little playful sometimes. We are simple traveling folk, do what jobs we can on the road, you know how it is, and we've picked up some sleight of hand, as it were. And, well, we're certainly not here to cause any trouble. We tend to use such for more bouts of fancy, you could say. For instance,
what the hell am I gonna do? I would like to.
What about levitation? Levitate.
I would like to go. Is there? I assume there's just like a few patrons along the bar or something, drinking and whatnot. I would like to call on my my smuggler boon. My memory from life. I was a smuggler, and I would like to. This might be multiple actions. I don't know. I was hoping to set up with a confuse, just because confuse is always helpful. But I think I'd like to. I don't even. This is not anywhere the direction I was going to take this. The eye. I am not as jovial a parlor tricks kind of person. All right. I'm going to sort of try to rile up this group here. We got Danny, we got the bouncer, we got a few other patrons, we probably got a few people out amongst the tables looking over. And I would like to go through just sort of engage very, very lightly Las Vegas magician style. Just
Yep.
throwing deception around, talking to somebody while I'm
Okay.
doing something else and whatnot.
Yep.
And I want to try to take something, because that's just thievery. That's not a parlor trick. That's just stealing.
You're a goddamn ghost. Just levitate.
I want to see if through this distraction,
Mm.
because we can't just openly do magic. I want to, through this distraction, I want to see if I could use my magic, use this levitation while I'm distracting, to like refill the drinks on the counter.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
just sort of move around, take out different items. Here, hold
Yep.
this, pick a card, yada yada, and move around. And then when I'm done with whatever grand show I'm putting on, and if you enjoyed today's little display of fancy and foolery, then perhaps the good Denny here might allow us all to have a drink on the house. And I motion to everybody's filled cup. If I can make it
Excellent.
work.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that the patter bit is quite straightforward for you. You know, I'm not going to make you do a check on that because it's that kind of general "how are you" and that kind of stuff. But yes, so making drink appear. Yeah, you can either use you've got two different types of magic. You've got Lumin and you've got Hex. So Lumin's light magic and Hex is dark magic. If you make the drinks appear with Lumin, they will taste amazing. If you use Hex, they're going to taste like absolute crap. Your choice. But whichever one you use, you can get your +1 from using your smuggler's.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay. Well, the drinks here are probably pretty bad to begin with. So, I don't think I'm losing much. If anything, suspiciously good drinks would... Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and try some Lumen magic.
Go for
Not
it.
something I use often, but I'm gonna give it a try. Another 2d6. That's 4. That's 4.
Okay. Cool. So that's what's called a success but. So you will be able to succeed, but there will be a cost involved. So I'm going to say this will succeed, but Danny will make an assumption that you may have stolen liquor and will want some kind of financial compensation of, let's say, $4 silver.
That's a fucking fortune.
Your choice. You can take it, or you can choose to do something else.
I put the $4 down.
Yeah.
Okay. So, obviously, that bit's done slightly discreetly to not take away from the fine performance that you've just done. And suddenly the room is just like, there's this kind of massive roar from the crowd as they knock back some of the best stuff they've ever tasted. It's amazing. And you can see people are just sort of like raising their glass to you, and the mood settles down and people go back to what they were doing. And Danny gives you like an appreciative eye and says, "Yeah, I'll give you that. That was pretty good. Pretty good. God, no idea how you did it, but yeah, I'm dutifully impressed." And she kind of waves the bouncer back to his seat by the stairs. So, what are you two gents doing in town? We don't usually get people passing through, and well, not really any of my business if you don't want to tell me. But it's always nice talking to new people.
Well, as I said, we are traveling magic folk, doing tricks and illusions and whatnot. Wondering, we heard that there was a family in town who was interested in shows such as this, Caliber. What can you tell us about the Pearsons?
Oh, the Pearsons, yeah, one of the oldest families in this town. I mean, honestly, most of them are old bastards, but they got money. Didn't know they went in for this kind of stuff, but what can I say? They're strange folks. Yeah, I mean, they come in here every now and then. Well, only sort of. One of the kids, Otter Pearson's upstairs at the moment. He was in earlier on. A couple of his buddies, sinking some drinks. They used to own the silver mine, or well, maybe they still do. I don't know, but it's not been used for a few years now, and that's why this place has gone to shit. But yeah, I mean, their place is in the center of town. If you want to pop over there and introduce yourselves, I can't guarantee you're going to get a hospitable welcome. But they might. But yeah, I wouldn't trust them far as I could push them.
We have heard in our passings as we meander through that the town here has fallen on some unfortunate times.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, it wasn't much of a place before we lost the sheriff, but since he died, families are just trying to take a bite out of each other, and well, I can't imagine it'd be long before they end up just trying to kill each other over who gets to control this place. There's been some odd folks coming in, and ain't what it used to be. At least you used to know some of the people that came in now. Drifters, dodgy folk, hawkers trying to sell all sorts of stolen stuff. Game. Used to be nice, but you close the silver mine, no reason for people to come here.
All right. So Pearsons own the silver mine. What are the other families that make or you silver mine that used to work? But I suppose and that sort of thing does that sort of money doesn't just vanish overnight. What do the other families do?
Well, the Coopermans have been here the not quite sure exactly. I think they've got like some sort of trade thing they do. And the other one, let me see. Need to make sure I get the name. So the Coopermans, Watson Smiths. Watson Smiths, they mainly deal with transportation of goods. They've got some stables up there, so they tend to bring stuff in, take stuff out. They've been affected by the mine closing just as much as anyone. Yeah, not good. Not good.
So what is there to fight over in this town exactly? If the silver mines dried up and you know trade is down, then why are these families even fighting for this town?
It's a good question. I mean, my guess would be that they drive all the others out. They got control of everything here. Do what they want with it. It could become. Yeah, shit, this place can't become anything. But, if you were someone that was maybe into the legal side of things, perfect place to hire people, transport stuff, which is, shall we say, on the slightly dodgy side of things. If you own this place, you could probably make a fine profit. No law comes down here, and now the sheriff's gone.
There is always certainly plenty of usefulness to large tracts of land in the favor of the people who live on them.
That's true, sir. That is very true. You know, they've all got a piece of different things here, so you remove a couple of the families, and everything else is up for grabs.
Is anybody else who owns this fine establishment, man?
Well, you are looking at the proprietor and owner. I own the establishment and the land it's based on. I am a self-made well, no, not millionaire. A self-made woman of means.
Congratulations, that's not a small feat. Has there anyone ever been pushing in on you to buy the place?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. I mean, there's only two places in town people can go to get drunk, and well, let's just say the Alley Maison is not where regular workers will go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't sound it when I heard of it the first time.
And of course, we provide distractions for reasonable price as well.
Place for the common folk.
Yeah, I like to think so. Might be that those that have got money can spend more, but you can always guarantee that this place is going to be full every single night. What do I need to do? Stock up on some whiskey, stock up on some terrible beer, make sure the girls behave themselves. Simple life.
You said there was a Pearson lad here, though.
Oh yeah, Otter. He's upstairs. He drinks like an absolute fish, but seriously, that boy cannot hold his liquor.
I think Sean would just look over at Clarence slowly and go back and look at her and go, "Well, thank you very much for your information, ma'am. Uh, Clarence, anything else?"
Well, just I suppose if you know of anyone in town who is looking for workers of, well, most any fare, really. As we've said, we're simple wanderers picking up what jobs we can get. If you know any of these Pearsons or Watsons or whatnot who may need a little extra service.
Well, I mean, sometimes they do hire extra people on to help out if they've got, projects or work that he's doing. Not heard that any of them are hiring recently. You can always go over and check them out. Pop by and introduce yourselves. Most of them will be around this time of night, but not anything I specifically can know about. Well, someone did mention that there'd been people up at the silver mine recently, these last week or so. Been told there's nothing up there, but I don't know. Maybe they're gonna open up a new vein or something, or try and do something with it. You might find some stuff there.
So reason to stick around a little longer then.
Yeah, well, I think worst case scenario, you could always perform your little tricks here for a small price, maybe.
Yes, let's talk in the morning, then see if there's any arrangement we could come to. You wouldn't happen to have any rooms available for the night?
Most most folks don't usually pay for a room for the night. It's usually for the hour.
I understand.
But let me see. Actually, Shirley's out visiting her parents at the moment, so her room will be free. Yeah, I don't see why not. You seem respectable gentlemen. Sure, I can trust you to behave yourselves whilst you're here.
We'll be sure to be more discreet. I sort of nudge the guy.
Let's tell you what. You stay overnight. We'll chat in the morning about some kind of deal. How's that?
That sounds like a perfect arrangement.
She dips behind the counter and pulls out a heavy iron key and hands it over to you. So up the stairs, far one on the right. Please don't disturb any of the girls. If you want something like that, just let me know and we can arrange something. But you know, they're all working at the moment.
Of course.
And she gets distracted as someone comes up to the bar and asks for a refill and just kind of goes, well, I'll leave you to it. And wanders off to start pouring drinks for other people.
Well,
I guess we should check out our accommodations then. And Sean just kind of gives Clarence a look before heading upstairs.
So you can see as you head upstairs, there's 4 other rooms up on the landing. And you can, as you pass by them, you can clearly hear they're occupied. But the furthest one at the far end of the landing, fit the key in the door and it opens. And inside, it's a very small, very feminine room. There's a dressing table and a single bed and a few clothes lying around. It's not that tidy, but you know, there is space for you to kind of hunker down here if you want to and get your thoughts together as to what you're going to do next. And before you do that, that is probably a good time for us to take our 15-minute break.
All right.
Okay, so folks, we're just going to go off and rehydrate ourselves and, you know, make sure we're in tip-top condition. So join us again in 15 minutes where we will pick up the second part of episode 1 of our game this evening. We'll see you all in a little bit. Take care. Hey folks, welcome back to part 2 of our first episode in our brand new mini-series, Undead Cowboys versus Werewolves. So, before the break, we left off with our heroes being in one of the rooms, yeah, very much so, being in one of the rooms that is vacant at the Split Shoe, deciding what their next course of action was going to be. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so Danny, the establishment's owner, said there was a Pearson here, Otto Pearson.
Yep,
and
that's
that
right,
he
yeah.
was upstairs and was raucous and could not hold his liquor. Moving past
Exactly.
any of the rooms on the way, would that fit a description of activities within those rooms?
It would fit the activities of all of them.
How many rooms are we talking?
There are 4 other rooms apart from yours.
Okay.
Can Clarence go through solid objects?
No.
Yeah. Are there probably not balconies, like exterior? So there's windows, but probably not like balconies.
Yeah, not to these because these are at the back of the establishment.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The people who shot at us at the graveyards, the girl said they were Pearsons.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Could I want to pull out some like a little folded up piece of vellum or something, some real thin like animal hide mat. I'm gonna place that down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that shrunken skull and sort of move through and find that hair that I took out, and I want to try to create some sort of like almost Ouija board-esque sort of situation.
Okay.
I want to
Yeah.
see if I could use this to help pinpoint where the next closest Pearson is.
Yeah, nice. I like that. That's great. So you could fashion something with a bit of paper, a small bowl of water. Put the paper on the water, and it'll, in theory, if you do it correctly, it'll spin, pointing to where the nearest person is. Yeah, go for it. So that is going to be. You could use hex for that because, yeah, you could use hex or lumen. I wouldn't mind for either of those.
It's a 6 off of hex.
Oh, amazing. So you've not done this before, but the components seem familiar from what you might have seen from other people. If you kind of stare at it, you can see the water ripple slightly, and the piece of paper with the hair circles round, and you can see it is pointing directly out of your door and directly to the far door at the other end of the balcony. A very clear indication that that is where you will find the nearest person in the Pearson bloodline.
Okay.
Well, it seems I have located our new friend, Otto, should we wish to introduce ourselves. Though it does seem he may be a tad busy at the moment.
Busy, yeah. Plus there is the question of once we meet him, because I feel like I overstepped my bounds in our last interaction a little bit to and may have possibly deadened some of your plans. So what exactly is the plan going in talking to this individual?
Well, I don't know how receptive he would be if we simply barged in during his recreational time. But the proprietress downstairs said that rooms were usually rented out on the hour. Our time is limited. We could simply wait until he is done and follow him out of the establishment.
All right. That sounds good. We are hoping that the exception, of course, is not the rule for this one. Who knows if someone of his means didn't just buy the room for the entire night and whomever he might be sharing it with. But I guess for now it's a plan. I mean, he was already in there before he'd even gotten here, so hopefully that hour will be up soon.
I suppose in the meantime we could simply carouse with the locals downstairs and see if we hear anything in particular.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing breaks a man's inhibitions to talking to a stranger like some whiskey and poker. Um, sure thing. Yeah, let's try it out. Do we both want to do that, or should I keep my eye out for Mr. Pearson up here?
Am I right in assuming that the sort of downstairs area looks up at a walkway with
Yeah,
it's all like open
exactly.
air? We could
Yeah.
see the room from
Yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
I think you have shown that you may be able to provide more of a distraction for myself to simply take in the local atmosphere.
All right. Then I will carouse myself down and try to get some information if I can. I have been known, I think, again, kind of pauses and thinks for a second, to have gift of the gab. So uh, maybe I can get some out of somebody that's of use.
As you go to leave your room, the door at the far end clicks open, and out steps this spotty, greasy-haired 19-year-old who looks disheveled and bedraggled, and clearly he's buttoning up his clothes as he comes out, and there's a slight sway to his walk, where he doesn't seem to be able to put one foot in front of the other very effectively. He looks at you kind of in a nods and makes his way down the stairs and starts to head towards the exit.
It seems none of your plans are going to work out tonight, Clarence. Either being my fault or just how timing worked. Are we just following this guy, or?
No, this is rather fortuitous. In fact, yes. Perhaps it is time we introduce ourselves.
All right,
I think
I'll let you lead the way.
I think I will slip out unnoticed and follow our new friend. Perhaps hold him up for a moment while you catch up, and then we can, all three of us, have a more pleasant conversation.
All right, so I guess Sean will just kind of drag his feet a bit behind Clarence as Clarence moves his way out.
So, exiting this split shoe, you see that Otto is only slightly in front of you, clearly struggling, and he dips into one of the alleys close by. And a couple of moments later, you can hear the sound of what is most likely someone relieving themselves.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna lurk in the shadows, across the street. And it seems he's already he walked himself down a dark alley. I didn't even need to do anything there. So if the big man can make his way over before he's done relieving himself, I think a nice introduction between his forehead and the wall could be arranged.
Yeah, I mean, Sean is probably like 2 minutes behind you. Is that was the original plan? Just kind of like whistling as he moseys on down the middle of the street, and then like spies you off in one alleyway across the street. Kind of just cocks his head and looks at you.
I sort of just pointing down the alleyway.
All right, Sean will.
And I'm gonna begin moving around the building to the other side if I can.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So as
Sean, stops whistling as he moves into the alleyway.
so you can see this this young lad just hand up against the wall, not really concentrating on what he's doing. But here's your approach. You all right? There's good evening. It's good evening. Yeah.
Is good evening. Is this the local watering relief station? And
Yes, it
kind of
is.
just
Yes, my good friend. It is. It is indeed. But shh, don't tell everyone, because everyone will start using it.
I won't tell a soul. I will. I personally don't need to relieve myself at this particular juncture, but I was trying to spy it out, when I have to in the future, just in case. It does seem like a good spot.
Just organized. That's good. It's good. You've got to think these things. Got to plan ahead, because that's how you get ahead. Planning ahead.
Sean makes sure that he finishes before reaching his hand out for a handshake. Uh, Sean O'Reilly, how are you? And pleasure to
Yeah.
make your acquaintance.
Arto Pearson. Oh, ooh. Oh, that's cold. Oh, you got cold. Oh,
Yeah, I've been outside for
cold.
a while. Sorry about that.
You want to get that scene too? That's not normal. That's
Yeah, and he's like slow. He's like he doesn't exactly know what Clarence was planning, and he doesn't want to fuck things up again. So he's just like trying to, you know. So brings you out tonight, there, my friend.
What's your name? Yeah, Clarence. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. What do you do? What do you do?
Well, still waiting for Clarence to get it. Well, I'm just a traveler going from town to town, trying to make a name for myself, and looking for work, trying to get myself by. It seem like you're in a mighty fine state right now. Maybe I should get you home.
There's no, not going home. Don't need to go home. I just came out just to sort myself out. I'm going back in. I gotta go back in. Gotta stay there tonight. Yeah. Going back in. Yeah.
And I think at this point, Sean is like right in front of him and goes, "No, I really think that you should head home. You look like you have one mighty fine headache." And at that point, Sean just slams his head against the wall.
There's no resistance. You
Yeah.
don't need to make a roll for that, because he wouldn't have seen that coming. And you hear the sound of his skull cracking against the wooden planks as he then slumps to the floor. Trousers not done up as of yet. Just lying there. No one seems to have noticed what you've done.
Sean will pull his britches up to at least give the man some dignity. And then kind of just like looks around, and I guess he'll like pick him up so his arms over his shoulder, so it looks like he's supporting him, and just wait for Clarence to get there.
Okay. Doesn't take too long before Clarence arrives at the scene.
Oh, I see you've already made friends. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Well, did he divulge anything of interest in your conversation?
I don't think he had much to say about much of anything. He was pretty far gone drunkenly anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can talk to him in a moment.
I'm gonna just start rifling through pockets.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So he's still got some money in one of his pockets. So there's a small leather bag which seems to contain 10 silver dollars. That's pretty much everything you find. Doesn't even seem to have like any weapons on him, or there doesn't seem to be anything else on him at all.
Okay.
Well, The
I mean, we could bring him to the Pearson estate, uh, kind of mock, maybe put the money back in his pocket so nothing looks too suspicious. Say that we found him drunk like this, uh, and maybe that's our way in.
perhaps. Hmm. Well, this is the second time we have heard of activity around the silver mine, and that it is a Pearson business there. If our little girlfriend is accurate in her assumptions, I find it a tad surprising that strapping youth such as this would be out pissing the night away if they are indeed performing some grand plan tonight.
Maybe this is the black sheep who doesn't get involved with such things.
Yes, which makes him mostly worthless. But we could bring him home, see if it gets us in their good graces for whatever use that may be.
You hear some gentle snoring coming from his body.
All right. Well, I guess if that's the one plan we got currently, I guess we should get a move on.
Well, before we commit to this, let's see if I can have a conversation with our tired friend here. Lay him down for me. He's cumbersome standing up.
Sean will try to find a position so that they are not easily seen from the street before putting him down on the ground, perhaps behind some feed box or whatever else might be back there.
Yeah. There's plenty of bits and bobs around there that you could find some cover from.
So, I don't know if this is going to work because he's pass out drunk. But I'd like to try to use some form of like magic enhanced hypnosis or something and see if I can, insert myself into whatever his dreams are and sort of guide him to tell us things. And see if there's anything in his immediate consciousness, his immediate memory that may be of use to us.
Okay, yeah. Absolutely. So that's going to be Hex. So go for it.
Right. 5s.
5s, okay. So 5s gives us success. Yeah, brilliant. As you start whispering in his ear to try and guide his path through, you start to ask him about what happened earlier in the day, get him to talk you through what actions he's kind of taken. And you can hear him kind of mumbling, gets a little bit louder as he starts to believe in what you're telling him. And his voice doesn't seem as slurred anymore. And he starts to talk. Well, yes, I told you I wouldn't be around. Honestly, I'll stay out of it. I've done my bit. I'll stay out of the way, Dad. I'll stay out of the way. I promise. Yeah, no, the package. I made sure the package was delivered to the Watson Smith estate. I made sure. Yeah, 2 of the guys they dropped it off. They double checked. Look, they've put it into the kitchen. It's fine. Everything is going to go to plan. No one's going to find it there. They posed as delivery boys. Yeah, It's all going to plan, Dad. It's all going to plan. And he kind of then just drops off and starts to mumble again.
Very good, my son, very good. I am so proud of you.
Unraised his eyebrow, mostly with Clarence's acting. But it was sounds like maybe the Pearsons are starting their war with the Watson Smith. Maybe something. I mean, sounded like some sort of sneakery going on with the dropping off some sort of box.
Yes.
So my assumption is there's nothing too good in that box.
Some sort of planted evidence, or perhaps a nice stockpile of gunpowder.
Mm.
Either way, it seems we now have two routes we could take here, returning the boy back home, back to Daddy Dearest, or investigating this box left in the Watson-Smith kitchen.
Well, I mean, there is the question. We could take the boy with us either way, as it does not sound to me much like any of the families here are exactly as completely law-abiding individuals. If we were to go to the Watson Smith estate, say that in his drunken stupor he let slip that he had sent something here, that could get us an in with them. I guess it depends on what we think, Clarence. Should we get in good with our target, or should we get in good with our target's enemies?
Or, this late hour, we could simply sneak in to the estate and have a look in the box.
Well, I mean, and Clarence, I'm sure you're much smarter than me. But why would we sneak in when we can just talk to them to get us to get to the box, and then perhaps have some friends in our next few hours with everything going on?
I prefer to have as much information as I can get before I start meddling. But we are under a time constraint. We could walk the boy over to the Watson Smiths and hand him over as a token of good faith and friendship.
Yeah, I personally think that's a better idea.
Well, it's simply
I think,
picking a side in a conflict we know nothing about yet.
well, to be fair, we have been informed by our mutual acquaintance that she wants us to stop whatever the Pearsons are doing. Now, whether or not the conflict is known to us doesn't seem to be our problem. We're just here to stop the Pearsons.
Yes, I suppose the child was vague to the point I doubt even she knew what she was asking of us. But if we are just to stop the Pearsons, pointing out this trickery could be all it takes, or a step in the right direction.
That's what I'm saying. Let's keep it simple, Clarence. You seem like a man of mystery and shadow and darkness and all that. I prefer just like the problem, and then let's try to fix it as easy as possible. Um, sometimes it doesn't work out. I understand. Sometimes you need, you know, detective work and skulking about and such. But I think we got a pretty good avenue here. We have a guy who did something probably pretty bad, or is going to be bad for Watson Smith. We show them he did something bad, and that gives us an end of how to deal with it.
No, for the time that we have this eve, I suppose a quicker route is in order.
All right, so Sean is gonna fling this guy's arm back over his shoulder and just kind of walk with him towards Watson Smith, trying to keep to the edges a bit to keep from just like if there's wandering Pearsons around that they don't see us as easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk
No,
ahead
absolutely.
a little bit and just sort of clock anybody who may be out and about and make sure that Sean notices them, or if I need to go and engage them in some way to turn the NPC in the right direction so you can sneak past.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time, but you manage to successfully take your newfound friend across the town until you reach the Watson Smith estate. Do you want to move the clock on to 1 o'clock for me now, please?
All right. I need some Majora's Mask dun dun time sound. There we go. 1 a.m.
Awesome. So as you approach the estate, it's a lot smaller than some of the other ones that you've seen as you've been making your way through the town. There's a couple of outhouse buildings. There's the main house, which is 3 stories. Looks to have been well put together. There's a fence on the outside made of iron, which separates it from the rest of the town. And inside, you can see there are a couple of individuals just patrolling the outside of the actual estate itself. At the front, there is a large gate, iron gate, which appears to currently be open.
I'll stroll forward. You said there's people walking about, look like they're on patrol.
Yep.
I'm gonna just sort of step into the threshold of the gate, take a few steps, and try to get someone's attention before, just walking straight into an estate.
Halt! Halt there.
Good evening, fellows, good evening. I mean no imposition. I simply, well, me and a friend here are new in town, and we were acquainting ourselves with the locals at one of the fine establishments nearby, and we overheard a conversation that may be of interest to the family of the estate here.
What kind of conversation?
Well, the Pearson boy here is a bit under, well, not under the weather, but under several glasses, I believe, as well as a fair amount of merrymaking. But in the time that we were getting to know each other, he got a little loose-lipped and said that he and some of his associates have left a package for certain members of this family, I believe unbeknownst to them. I thought it was our duty as upstanding folk of the road to bring this to your attention, and of course, if you were grateful in any meaningful way to such luck and fortune finding its way to you. Well,
Okay.
it's always good to have friends when you're new in town.
Make me a social skills check.
All right. I'll be motioning Sean and the the unconscious guy.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
This might be a little bit of a stretch, so I'm not pushing too hard for it. But in a smuggler's career, being able to insinuate one thing while speaking, much more legitimately.
I will let you have the extra dice for that.
All right. Get 3 dice here then. Crap. All crap. 2, 3, 2.
What? Oh, okay.
Highest is a 3.
Highest is a 3. Oh, that is a fail. The guard kind of looks at you and goes, Jesus, he's got the Pearson lad with him. What the hell? You kidnapped the Pearson lad? And he kind of pulls the rifle out and holds it up to what are you bringing him here for?
There's no kidnapping here. We were going to bring him home, but then he started muttering about some box he had left in your kitchen. If you're not interested, I will take him home.
You both stay right there. Barry.
At this point, like just as Sean is getting there, they're like, "You hold that there," and Sean's like, "What did you do, Clarence?" And Sean will put up his hand and go, "Listen, lads. I'm sure Clarence here has already informed you of what this fellow has told us. He said that under orders of his father, he had 2 associates leave disguised as the local deliveryman a box in your kitchens. It sounded like some skullduggery."
So you two, who I've got no idea who you are, drag along an unconscious member of the Pearsons to this house, and you want to come inside for some mystery box?
No, I didn't say I want to come in at all. Listen, if you want to look around your kitchen for any boxes...
Yeah, no, none of this. Go, Barry, go tell the boss. Go tell the boss, Barry. You see the other one duck inside. You both stay right where I can see you. You don't move. Don't you move. Like the rifle's going between the two of you just to...
It's at this point that I think Sean's banshee nature is going to plug out a little bit before the other guy leaves. His eyes begin to glow a little like seafoam blue with laces of green, and he just locks eyes with them and says, "Now, friends, let's all calm down and let us talk to the boss together. There's no need for weapons. Let's just relax."
Okay. So it's not really intimidation, is it? It's
more of
what's your aim?
It's more of a charm than anything else.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to be social skills. It's going to be with a penalty, so a burden. So -1 because they're already on high alert.
Are either of these guys looking like they are soldiers or ex-soldiers?
Yeah, maybe one of them, yeah.
He looks over at this guy, maybe has some sort of scarring that looks...
you can tell from the kind of way he holds himself that there's maybe some military background in him.
"Listen, friend, you and I both served. You know that a man of your caliber and mine, we don't shit talk when we don't need to. Listen, I think something really bad's going down, and I think you really should listen to me right now."
Okay. Right, do the social skills check for me.
2d6 or 1d6?
1d6.
Fuck.
What did you roll?
15.
just a one, was it?
Yes, yes, it was a one. God damn it.
Okay, so you, as you're trying to be convincing and a little bit charming, you forget that you were using the nature of your undeadness, and rather than a sea green kind of eyes you've gone for, instead they darken to pure blackness. And for a moment, the illusion fades away, and all they can see is this jittering face, which kind of seems to be out of phase. Demon! Demon! It's a demon! Run! Run! Barry! Barry, run! Run, Barry! And you see them throw down their weapons and just run! Run! And just flee out into the town.
Well, that's one way to get rid of.
So, this is a mechanic we haven't talked about yet, but we have something called foreshadowing, which is where if they start to cause trouble or maybe reveal themselves, people will take more of an interest in them. It become more challenging for them going forward. So that's a couple of points on the foreshadowing clock. So it's not changed as of yet, but you have progressed that clock forward. Be aware of that. But the gate is open and they have run screaming.
Well, now I feel bad, Clarence. I tried my best to be friendly.
Yes, simple folk, easily overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But
Well, I guess if the guards ain't here, then let's go up to the house and introduce ourselves.
You can see from the street there appears to be at the back of the estate there is a side door, and you can see there's a room with a low flickering candle coming, but everything else appears to be dark.
I think at this point we may want to change tactics. I don't think we can simply knock on the door with an unconscious, I don't want to say nobleman, but son of a rival family. I think their first question will be, well, who are we? Why do we have this kid, and where their guards have gone? I think those are questions that are too difficult for us to answer with our level of information. So, you may wish to take the young lad here back home, and I may simply see if I can slip in through the back and take a look at this crate.
Like, should I just leave him at the front door, or what? What's your thought on that one?
I don't know if we're going to get anything out of these Watson Smiths.
No, I mean, like the Pearson boy. You want me to bring him back home? Like, should I just leave him there and come back, or should I try talking to him?
If you indeed have this gift of gab, as you have claimed...
Well, that doesn't seem to be. I thought I did, but apparently not.
Yes, everybody in this town does seem to, well, not take too kindly to us.
Well, I guess I'll see what trouble I can get into. Are you sure it's a good idea to split up? I'm not sure that's a great idea. You thinking there, Jack?
Yes, simply scheming. We could pivot and try to ingratiate ourselves with the Pearsons, or we could simply forget the matter of this useless boy and check out the sheriff's office or the silver mine, or simply leave him in a bush and skulk around here.
Yeah, I think the last option is probably the best one. I'm gonna go try finding a nice and suitable location to hide a sleeping 19-year-old. Perhaps a barn or an empty stable or maybe a bush or a hedge of some sort.
So as you're having this conversation, you hear a, oh, what's going on? What am I doing? Who are you? What?
Confused.
Is there a
Go for it.
large? Is there a stone or rock underneath us?
There is, yes.
I just kind of like, oh, great, hey there, buddy, Otto, good job. Wait a minute, there's something on your, and just drop them right into the rock.
Okay, so
Kill this
so
kid.
Jack's going for the confused. So we'll start with that. So
Okay.
Jack, roll for the confusion.
Okay. It's a 4.
Okay, so 4. You can confuse him. However, his mind will try to fight back, and you sense that there's a good chance he will scream at the top of his voice as he tries to battle the confusion you place on him. So it would work, but it's very likely to draw attention to your situation. You can take it, or you can decide not to do it.
Oh, okay. Just decide not to take the action.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm in the process of whatever magic I'm trying to do when I see Sean here, just like pick him up by the
Yeah.
collar and get ready to slam
Yep.
him down. I'm like, all right.
So let's have a brawn check then, please.
Okay. We're looking at 1 dice again. All right. You son of a bitch.
It's another 1.
I feel like he just jumps up and tries to use his full weight to like bring him down, and he just holds him up. Like
It's surprisingly, you don't realize how easy it is. And as you push him to the ground, you didn't realize quite how jagged this rock is. And as his head hits the jaggedness, you hear a splintering and a sound of skull cracking. And you see the jagged part of the rock come out the back of his head. He is dead.
well, that is Tal, that is one way to say that you fucking failed. Sean looks down at the boy, looks up at Clarence, and goes, yeah.
I just turn and start fast walking away.
Yeah, I think Sean's gonna run after him.
And so, just to clarify, you are leaving him in the middle of the street?
I mean, I will. Well, it wasn't in the middle of the street. It's like in their front yard, right? And
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Yeah.
This is how you start a turf war.
Yeah. This is a win.
I think for us, leaving the dead body there is a lot easier and safer for us than trying to transport that body through the town someplace else. So I think it's going to cause problems, but they're future problems.
Can I situate the body to tripped rather than was forced into the rock?
Say that again, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, okay. Can I situate the body so it looks like it tripped rather than was forced into the rock? Like maybe the way that his hands are or something.
Yeah, you can definitely try. What kind of check would that be? Let's have a think.
Awareness, maybe?
Yeah, I think awareness. So I think trying to get it into the perfect position so it looks like he did it himself. Yeah, make an awareness check for me.
I'm not rolling anymore, Tal. That's a 1 and a 3.
So a 3, unfortunately, is a fail. So you kind of go to move him around and you think you've got it maybe just right, but unfortunately he then rolls back and the bit of rock then juts through his neck. And now he's lying there with this kind of pierced bit of rock just sticking through his neck, all this blood pooling and starting to run down his already ruined suit.
I give up. I leave.
Okay. Right.
Instead, like
So-
it was either making it a mistake or making it look like the Watson Smith killed him. He's okay with either.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So I do think that we are going to have to move the foreshadowing clock onto the next status.
Now at watchful,
Yes.
we are on watchful.
So now that strange things are happening in town, including somebody important dying, people are a bit more maybe suspicious of strangers, shall we say. Right, okay. Where would you like to go next? As you hurry away from the horrific crime scene that you have left.
Yes, I don't think engaging with the locals is going very well tonight. Perhaps it is simply our newfound disposition in this world seeping through. But I think we limit our interactions with the living for now. Maybe check out the sheriff's office, see if there's any reason we might be able to find for his unfortunate early demise, or simply head up to the silver mine and see if they're doing something there tonight.
Clarence, I'm gonna let you just guide everything from now on. Apparently, I am the fuck up of fuck ups. So yeah, whatever you think. Yep, I'm good with it. Yep. Let's go to sure.
So which one would you like to go to? The sheriff's office or the silver mine?
Yeah, I'm still trying to see if I can find a way to get some actual information about what is going on before we start kicking the hornet's nest. So I'm thinking we head to the sheriff's office first.
Okay. Right, sheriff's office. Do you want to move the clock forward for me, please? Now,
Alright.
1:30.
Dun dun.
So, the sheriff's office in town, the lights are on, the door is slightly ajar, and so you can see that this is pretty much a 24-hour operation. It looks a little beaten up on the outside. It's clearly seen better days, especially as the previous sheriff has actually passed away. And as you approach the door, you can hear the sound of what seems to be heavy snoring.
I was assuming this place was going to be dark. I suppose somebody shot the sheriff, but just did not seemingly shoot the deputy.
Excellent.
What is it you would like to do here, Clarence? Are we talking to this deputy, or are we skulking about? What's your plan?
I was hoping it would be an empty office for me to rifle through, but I suppose nothing is going as planned tonight. Well, if whoever in there is seemingly asleep, I'd say I don't think we're going to get anything out of talking with these individuals. We are outsiders. We don't know. We don't even know the right questions to ask, let alone how to ask them in a way that is going to help us get any information. Now, I'd say we find a way inside and I will rifle around, and if anything goes awry, we simply... Well, we've been leaving a trail thus far.
All right. Uh, let's go, I guess.
Okay.
If
So,
if I do a quick
yeah, go for it.
circle
Mhm.
of this building, can I find? I mean, it's a jail, so probably I don't know. Is there another way in other than the front door?
Yeah, so there is a door at the back. As you kind of do your circle, you can see through the kind of big windows, slumped across what you presume is the main sheriff's desk. There is a man in a sheriff's uniform, one hand resting on a still full tumbler of whiskey, an almost empty bottle sat on the desk, let out snoring heavily.
Okay. Does it look like the window opens?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. The door's open as well, so you know.
Okay. Yeah, if he's like pass out drunk and the door's right there and it looks open, I'm just gonna, very slowly push it open and slink my way on in.
Okay. So looking around the sheriff's department, it's pretty much it's a little bit barren. There's not huge amounts of personal detail here. You've got the front desk where this person is asleep, passed out. At the back, there are 2 jail cells, which fill up most of the room in there. There's a couple of drawers where potentially paperwork stored if they ever even did that kind of thing. And it's pretty much silent apart from the snoring sound. And as you step in, you then hear a psst, hey, buddy, hey, coming from one of the jail cells.
Well, hello there.
Hey, buddy, hey, come here, buddy, come here.
All right, sure, why not?
Hey, you look like a friendly kind. Do you wanna help a fellow traveler out on a bit of a sticky situation?
I suppose something could be arranged.
Yeah, well, let's do a little deal. Obviously I was brought in on a fixed up charge.
Obviously.
Stolen goods. That's not my thing. Well, I didn't know those were stolen. But how about you get me out of here and maybe I can do you a favor. I've got to know a little bit about what's going on in town, and I got a little place which might have some useful stuff for a good friendly face.
Oh, that is quite generous. You meet new friends in the most unlikely of places.
I've always said that, and, friend today, better friend tomorrow.
What's your name then, new friend?
You can call me Pixman.
Hmm.
Just, yeah. See, he's drunk, and the keys are just on his belt. Just go grab the keys. Go grab the keys.
Yes. Well, your offer of hospitality is very inviting, and I'm inclined to agree. But you see, I am here on other business. Travelers
Oh, okay.
along the road, as you may. I hear there's some trouble afoot tonight.
Oh,
You
yeah,
and
there's
your job that landed you here. Might you have any insight?
yeah. Let me out, and I'll tell you what I know. I overheard a conversation between the deputy over there and bigwigs. Yeah. I'll tell you everything I know. Just come on, buddy, help me out. Come on.
Sure.
Yeah, I have no moral issue with this. I don't care. Yeah, so if I sort of peer around the corner to this guy slumped over the desk, is it like
Mhm.
a comically large chain of keys that's going to make
Oh,
some ungodly racket when I grab them?
absolutely. Of course it is. Yeah.
Of course. Okay.
I am nothing if not stereotypical with
Yeah.
this adventure.
I'm gonna look around. Uh, pillow, tablecloth, curtains.
Yeah. So you could definitely pull off one of the curtains from one of the back windows if you wanted to.
I'm gonna do that.
Wouldn't.
I'm gonna pull down
Yep.
one of the curtains. I'm gonna fold it up.
That's where Sean is standing on the other side of that window, and he's kind of gives Clarence a weird look, like, "What are you doing?"
Into soft furnishings.
I'm gonna fold it up, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
tiptoe my way over, ghosty glide through the room, and I take the fabric and use that to grab the keys so they don't make any sound, and just
Nice.
sleight a hand right off the guy's belt.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, so let's do an agility check, and you can have an additional dice for trying to muffle the sound of you stealing the keys.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll give me 2 dice. I mean, eventually the pendulum's got to swing the other way tonight, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Excellent.
We only know 2 numbers on these dice, 1 and 6.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Ever so slowly, you manage to lift off the keys. There's a moment where but then he goes straight back to sleep, snoring heavily. And you manage to filch the keys off of the deputy.
All right.
Yeah, buddy, that's it. Oh, hey, you're a natural, buddy. Come on. Let me out, buddy. Come on.
I have my talents. As does my friend.
I sort of motion just so that Sean steps into frame. And I'll start going
Hey,
through the
another
keys.
friend. Another friend. Yeah, good. It doesn't take long before you find the key that opens the cell, and you get the first chance to have a proper look at this. So it's a small, wiry man, balding on top, looking quite scraggly around the face, and with a kind of eyes just darting around everywhere, like yeah. Oh man, that was. Thank you so much. Look, I gotta go. But deal's a deal. You can find me over Well, it's just in one of the corners, and I'll give you a little knock code, so it's 2 knocks, and then it's called the Sneak. Yeah, and he marks it on your map as to where it is. Just pop by, pop by. I'll sort you out. I'll get some good stuff for you. And you said you wanted some information. Yeah. What do you need to know? What you got? What do you want me to tell you?
Well, we have learned that there's going to be some sort of commotion tonight, some sort of ruckus.
Oh, yeah. Ruckus, yeah. Who's involved? Who's involved?
Well, we've heard that the Pearsons are making some sort of play.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
I assume
One of
we've
them was
been moving away from the sheriff's office.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah. One of them was in the sheriff's office, speaking to the sheriff, and yeah. What did he say? Oh, yeah. He said that someone had managed to breach a hole in the Cooperman's defenses, and they were going to get a visit from some of their friends later on. I think up through the cellar. Yeah. They were going to get in through the cellar and pay him a visit. You know what I mean?
I think I do know what you mean. Do you have any idea what this visit may be about?
Oh, all they said was that they were going to allow some of their shadowy friends to get in there, and well, can't be anything good, can it?
I suppose not. How would they get up through a cellar? I imagine a place like this doesn't have an illustrious sewage system.
I didn't hear that bit, but because normally they got witches over there. Do you know what I mean? She's that head lady. She's she's a witch. Yeah, she's really scary.
Ah,
Normally they're all protected, but they somehow found a way in past the old protections they've set there. Don't think it's going to be pretty. Don't think it's going to be pretty.
well, perhaps it best then that us simple traveling folk keep our heads down.
Yeah. Don't get involved with them. They're good. No good. No good.
So, what is this establishment you would like us to visit?
Oh, it's called the Sneak. I've got a little bit of everything. Come on by. I'll sort some stuff out for you. Gonna be real useful. Us traveling type, gotta stick together. I'll sort you out, don't you worry.
Very good. Very good. It's always nice making new friends along the road. You know, I never forget a kindly face. Just like I
Yeah,
never
no.
forget those who double cross.
No. Yeah, no, I agree. And you can see that at that moment he puts his hands behind his back, as if he'd been thinking of maybe trying to do something. No, all friends. We're friends, yeah. Yeah, we're good friends. Good friends, yeah.
Good friends.
Yeah, come.
Yes, well,
Come by.
Mr. Pickman, it has been a pleasure meeting you, and I'm sure we will enjoy each other's company in the next few hours.
Yeah. And with that, he's constantly looking around and he just darts off down one of the alleys. Yeah, pop by. And with that, he's gone.
Well, that is something interesting enough. I was hoping for paperwork or some clue of some kind, but it seems there is some sort of vaguely credible threat on apparently our employer.
So the door is still open. If you wanted to go back and look around some more, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, if this guy is still passed out, I'll look through the place as much as I can without pressing my luck.
Yeah. Okay. So you find a few things of interest. You find 2 sets of handcuffs with keys, a small stash of chewing tobacco. You find in one of the kind of evidence chests, there's what looks like a silver male undershirt. And also what looks to be a very powerful handgun. So you can take any of those. The male shirt, if you are hit by a werewolf, it'll automatically deal 1 damage to them, and a werewolf can't hold on to you.
Hmm.
And then the handgun looks to be quite an impressive gun, and it can deal 3 points of damage.
Hot diggity damn.
As you're rifling through, you also notice that there's a diary that's on the desk, open to today's date. And there's a couple of notes in a scrawled handwriting, which you can read, but clearly whoever wrote it was perhaps under the influence of alcohol at the time. So the first note says that the Undertaker Connor Anderson has been extracted and put to good use. And the second note reads that they need to put an extra watch on the blacksmith as they are unsure of her affiliations.
Okay. If I flip back a few pages, how long has it... Can I see how long it's been since the sheriff died?
Yeah, so it looks to have been about a month now.
Okay. Okay, so that's probably going back, a few pages. Anything I can piece together in the interim?
Most of the other stuff in there is just about prisoners that have been taken in, drunk and disorderly. Certainly nothing that stands out as being useful to you. The only ones that were that appear to be out of the ordinary are the 2 notes that were made today.
Are the more recent ones signed differently? Can I figure out who this guy is?
The name that's put underneath them is... I'll tell you that. Kenny Carmen. And from what you can gather, it appears that is the deputy sheriff.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll flip that back to the right page, take my set of curtains and wrap up that chainmail.
Put it back, yeah. You
Yep.
could do that. That's quite easy for you to do with no issues.
I mean, eventually they're going to realize stuff is gone, but we only have another 4.5 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll head back outside.
Okay.
Here, I'm sure you will make better use of these than I.
And I'm gonna
You
hit
hand him the
Sean.
gun and the mail?
The gun and the mail. Yep.
Nice.
I'll keep the handcuffs and the chewing tobacco.
And as you
Okay.
step out into the night, you notice a very fine drizzle starts to come down from the heavens, and clouds start to roll in.
Okay.
And maybe this hasn't been the greatest of starts, but maybe you're also making some progress now. And that, folks, is where we are going to leave tonight's show. Thank you so much for everybody that watches this. It's always greatly appreciated. We are just getting started, and we want to bring you some fantastic content. We've got lots planned for the coming weeks. So we're doing some mini series, and then we're going to roll into our first big production piece, which we'll talk about more as we head towards it. But yeah, that is episode 1 all done and dusted. We'll have to see what happens next week to our intrepid adventurers. I've been Tal. You can find me obviously here under Star Metal Productions and under the Gamer's Rest as well. And I've been your narrator. Jack, I'll move on to yourself.
Yes, hello, folks. I'm Jack. I have been Clarence the Ghost tonight. Interesting character I've fallen into. Looking forward to figuring out where he's going over the next few weeks. Had a lot of fun doing this. It's nice to get back into the streaming game. You may know me from my original channel, RPGs Uncovered. It's still there. Got a lot of great content up over there, but I'm currently on production hiatus there because I'm putting my effort here because we got this great game. We got a number of other smaller games coming up, and then as Tal said, we have a big full series production that we're working on. So, and in the risk of announcing an announcement, stay tuned for an announcement of what we're doing. Until then, go check out everyone else's channels. We got the ats, under all of our portraits.
They're all there, yeah.
The Eye.
I am the Eye. I will only be here. I've been homeless for a while in terms of where I wanted to put my efforts, and I feel like I have found my place to do so here at Star Metal Productions. If you wish to find me anywhere, I don't post a lot on my own social media, but if you wish to connect in any way, we have Blue Sky, we have Instagram, and you can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter. But besides that, you will find me here playing Sean, the Banshee, who rolled some really poor ones today that really fucked everybody's plans.
We both did.
But that's what TTRPGs are, and that's where we will continue to go as we move forward.
Brilliant, thank you. So, a pleasure as always, guys. But that's it. That's everything from us this week. Do make sure you come back next week for episode 2. This episode will be going up on YouTube in the not distant future. So tell your friends, get them to get caught up before next week's episode to see what happens to the 2 undead as they try to take on the mystery of what's happening here. But that's it from us. Thanks so much for dropping by. Everybody that watches this, we greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.